in planning way ahead of time. And I get a lot of that from Jennifer, my wife. She's always been kind of the organizing force behind Acting Out. I would not be nearly as organized if it wasn't for her. But she's kind of shown me the way to, you start off, when you pick a show, like when we picked King and I as our first big show for this past fall, we came into it thinking, okay, we got to have a show that's going to be challenging enough for young people to do roles that are ordinarily for, you know, people who are in their 30s and 40s. But we also need something that the younger kids can get involved in as much. Like there are shows that we would love to do. Like one of the shows I would definitely love to do is 42nd Street. There's no room for little kids in that show. So even though you might have artistic desires, you have to kind of balance that with what are people going to want to come see, what are kids going to want to be in. So really, even before we have day one of auditions, we think of it a year ahead of time. Like right now, in November 2016, we're already thinking about what we're going to do next fall. You get a contract in on a show just so you can plan ahead of time. So I guess the specifics it comes from the fact that I've been on the receiving end of the why are we here at rehearsal? It's, you know, I'm doing this and my kid's going to have maybe one line, you know, to work on. Why am I here for 2.5 hours? So I've always been very cognizant of the fact that I don't want to waste parents or kids' time, because then they get bored, they get annoyed, and then they don't come back for the next show. So I want to streamline it as much as possible. So we lay out, once we get our cast set, I go through and I lay out, okay, well, on this day, this person's not available, so we shouldn't put them in this kind of part of the ensemble, but they are available on this day. Okay, well, now we've got, nobody's available on Mondays, but we got some are on Tuesdays, some are on Wednesdays. So I think if you just plan enough ahead of time, it looks like you didn't put as much effort into it. It looks a little more seamless than if you didn't do it. Like, it's one of those things like a great movie soundtrack, you don't notice because it's so good, but you do notice it if it doesn't fit. Things like that. So, I've always been big on not wasting time. That's not just for the parents, but that's for us too, because if you lay it out, then you know, okay, when we get done with rehearsal, we're going to have done pages 40 to 49. And by golly, you know, you set it out and you know what the expectation is. They know what they're going to get done most of the time. I'm not saying we got a 100% track record, but most of the time you'll get done what you said, and sometimes you'll get done early enough. Let's do it again, kids. Let's do it another time. So we get it all together. So, I mean, it just comes down to planning. I think if you do that, people are very appreciative of the fact that you said, oh, okay, I don't have to be here the whole 2 hours. I can just be here for the first hour, and then we can go and have dinner somewhere and not be wondering why I'm sitting here picking my nose. Probably should edit that part out. So.